All right, we're going to look at a couple more things under filters, and then we'll come back and cover the rest later. We'll go on to filter, and we're going to go to render. And I want to look at something called lens flare. So what this does is it applies a lens flare to my image. Now, what is a lens flare? The lens flare is when the sunlight hits the lens directly and causes a flare. And some photographers can actually do this on purpose. And there's different types of flares based on the type of lens. Okay. So I can apply a lens flare to my image, choose the location, choose the brightness of the lens flare, click OK. And there's my lens flare. All right. So unless you're doing Close Encounters of the Third Kind or the new Star Trek movies by J.J. Abrams, don't apply more than one lens flare at a time. But that's an interesting little tool. I'm going to undo that. Let's go up to filter. Let's go down to render. And we're going to look at something called clouds. So what that does is it takes the foreground and background color and it forms it into this pattern of clouds. Now, that in of itself looks weird and silly, but this is a method for which you will use to create different types of special effects in Photoshop. So this is kind of like a door opening into another realm, which we'll get into at a later time. I'm going to undo that. Let's go back up to filter and then render, and we're going to use difference clouds. So as you can see here, it applied the differences of the images to the cloud, and we're going to undo that as well.